drafting is so easy. However, it is going to be Syndra, and this is a champion that continues to rise in priority and popularity.
Yep.
I think has been more of a 50-50 champion on this day. However, does lend a lot to the early game lane push. And so much of this meta of League of Legends is based around, can you shove out mid lane? Can you team up with your jungler and make things happen elsewhere on the map?
Okay, so the last time these two teams met, it was very similar bans. Renekton was the first lock, but here, Vladimir once again for Nomanz. We're going off book. The Vlad picked up, expect that to go in the mid lane, and now you have such a wealth of opportunity for Unicorns. Do you go for an AD carry? Do you get the Kaisa or the Xayah as a possibility here for Innaxe?
And this did look like a good matchup for the Syndra early game. Triple was able to chunk out Nomanz. If he had the Ignite, I think there would have been some more kill pressure there. And in hindsight, I think that he would agree that they probably should have played for that a little bit harder. However, this is a Unicorns comp that, once again, could be a team fighting comp.
Yep.
Could be a 1-3-1 comp. Very, flexible lock-in so far for the team.
And we'll have to see if they develop into that 1-3-1 or that team fight as the game does progress. The Thresh locked in here for Vulcan in the bottom lane. I was going to say see a Xayah, but the AShe picked up for Cody Sun early on.
Yeah, and either Xayah or Ezreal will fit the bill fine here, because all you have to be able to do is dodge out of ultimates in the laning phase. If there are so many of them available, why not go towards a solo laner instead? But this is a good pick comp so far, set up from Clutch Gaming. If they ever get a lead and they dictate vision in an area of the map, it's very hard for any of these champions to really face check. Nautilus is the squishiest tank in the game if you don't proc Aftershock.
Exactly, and if you don't have your Titans wrapped up the shield as well. He's so squishy. Kaisa is the lock for Innaxe we saw. He's very good at cleaning up fights, perhaps not the key carry for this Unicorns of Love lineup, but he does play the Kaisa well, especially if they're playing losing side of the map. Skarner taken away from Lira, one of his most successful, in fact, his most successful champion across the course of the split. So you can see Unicorns of Love have done their homework as we would expect with the Rumble, with the Gangplank, with the Skarner bans. And now Clutch get rid of the Nocturne, Olaf removed by the Unicorns.
And we'll see where the Kha'Zix follows, because Kha'Zix does do a very similar thing to Nocturne in the middle stages of the game. I think the utility is a lot less, but his damage is significantly higher. So would certainly be a pick that an AHaHaCiK would be comfortable going towards, I feel, with a composition like this.
Also has the Rek'Sai as a possibility if you want an AD jungler. I agree that it's not as powerful as the Kha'Zix, but it's something we've seen him play a couple of times. Other junglers, Gragas is still there, Jarvan is still there. Someone with a little bit of CC and the buy! Oh, baby! First fight we've seen here at Worlds. I'm excited, I've got to admit.
I really didn't see that coming. However, as you said, just really good lockdown CC. And there are two carries already locked in for Clutch that have no way to escape this.
So I have a tiny inkling, and it's quite common that I'm wrong with these. I have heard rumors of Vi top lane with W max.
And Wit's End. I've heard the same, like...
I think we've heard it from the same person.
You go Frozen Mallet, Wit's End, or something like that.
So Elise locked in for Lira. He's been very successful on that. The Irelia probably going up to Huni in the top lane. Now the Unicorns. Oh, it's Mordekaiser. Okay, crack it all out. Bring it all out.
So the reason I really like Mordekaiser here for boss is I think that Unicorns are going to play heavily for bottom side of the map, and they're going to use Vi to camp out Cody or Damonte.
Okay.
So then boss's jobs become live dives.
Yep.
You're against Irelia, you're against an Elise. Good luck ever matching that 2v2. So just make it a 1v1. Just pull someone into the death realm with you, stall for as long as possible, and just try to not lose as fast as your bottom side wins.
Clutch play top side of the map traditionally. It looks like they're going to do that here once again. The Unicorns of Love have tried to answer it, as you say, with the Mordekaiser, with the buy, with some assault and battery tactics. We'll see if it's effective for them. Of course, both these teams already qualified for the knockout stages, but this is all about seeding. This is about the possibility of dodging Damwon, dodging Splice in those knockout games.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun game, dodging Damwon, but you really don't want to play it. This is one of those games that I feel like very conflicting styles coming together. And I'm really excited to see whether Unicorns can continue to upset this Clutch lineup.
We'll see if they can. 2-0 record across the course of Plains. The Unicorns of Love have exploded onto the world stage here. They fought tooth and nail versus Mammoth to make it to this game. Clutch, after a couple of disappointing matchups against Mammoth, we have to say, Unicorns, we have to say, have been able to find their way into this tiebreaker match, have been able to find their way into the knockout stages. It's a lot. It means a lot for both these teams to get that first seed. Makes it so much easier to make it into group stage. I think we know who the crowd's supporting here, Spawn.
Yeah, look, I think it's a bit one-sided in here at the moment.
So slightly.
Medic, I think it's actually quite a hostile crowd towards the Clutch Gaming lineup, but very much in support of the Unicorns of Love. And I kind of want to talk about the CIS region, because this is a region that I feel like always shows up very well prepared at these international tournaments, and they always have a trick up the sleeve, whether it's the lasers from the sky, whether it's a Vi pick that will come out in this final game. I think that this is a region that really has started to build that growth, and they got very unlucky. They went to all 5 games against a good Cloud9 lineup last time we saw them on the international stage. So, you know, this could be it. This could be the moment they take this step up and they look to propel themselves into a first seed.
Just having a quick look, AHaHaCiK has played Vi twice competitively in summer. He's 50% win rate on it, 1 loss, 1 win. So it is something he has had a little bit of practice on, as expected, bringing out in a knockout in a tiebreaker game on the world stage. He's going to start down towards the bottom side. Boss will fake leash the red buff.
I think that's really smart from Boss, because you can see right now that it's going to be Lira starting top side of the map. And this could throw a spanner in the work. If Lira thinks that red buff is gone, might not go for an early invade, might instead try to track down to the bottom side, maybe fight over river control with the Vi. So that little piece of information could come up massive.
Definitely could. Boss was spotted out on a ward as he went across towards Krugs. It looks like Lira's going to do his gromp, maybe not look for the invade. Edward and Innaxe just playing behind their minions here as expected into a Thresh. Have to be cautious of the level 2. Huni takes a tower shot there, was dodging in, hit level 2 first, thought he could take a positive trade, but the tower thought otherwise.
I like the confidence from Huni here in this matchup. You need to be able to put out pressure very early on as the Irelia. This is a pick that I thought would see much higher presence in the play-in stage so far. Has kind of been absent. There's a good hook there.
Manages to land the pullback. Edward will pay with about half his health bar. Looked like he was going to get away there for the second, but the hook having a double drag means that even though he got the dredge line off, he wasn't able to escape to his tower.
And this is a really heavy bully lane. Ashe outranges 80 carries significantly. The fact that we've bumped up the slow in the kit as well, very nice pull.
Ooh.
Will result in nothing. The fact that we've added this 20% slow at every stage to a passive now also just increases that bullying potential. Auto attack reset on the Q. This is just a champion that has kind of been nudged up and up in competitive. Finally seeing a lot of play, and I think the ultimate, obviously, you know, being able to have hard initiation out of an AD, a traditional carry role, while still not losing out on damage. The thing you kind of sacrifice for it is the mobility factor. Obviously, that's where Vi comes in, but I think it can be a very successful champion in the bottom lane.
Definitely can. A few changes on recent patches makes her just that little bit stronger. We often see Ashe at Worlds. Everyone remembers Praise Arrow from downtown to connect onto Duke in that Rocks Tigers game. Here, Lira gets the Scuttle Crab, but AHaHaCiK's looking up towards top and misses the Vault Breaker. And Huni just underneath this tower. This will be cleared out. Boss looking for a reset, you have to think, as AHaHaCiK came to help him clear out the wave.
Completely agree, and that means that Huni is going to be able to back with a little bit of a CS lead, should have an experience lead due to the fact that Boss just had to share a creep wave with his jungler, and Lira will double scuttle. So the early game going heavily in Clutch's favor. However, you do think of Vi more of that hit 6 jungle, no turret dives going off at level 3 or anything like that, so still opportunities for the Unicorns to be able to turn this one around. Just need to pick their moments, I think, very well in this game.
And their moments haven't come yet, which I think is important as well. It's often we talk about, like, early on, it sounds like you're a little bit down on a team. You're saying, oh, well, they haven't found a connection yet. They haven't found a fight yet. Unicorns are very happy with the state of affairs. Yes, they're a little bit behind in the bottom lane. Yes, they're a little bit behind in the top lane. But until you see AHaHaCiK going in for those level 6 ganks, until you see the comp really coming online, Unicorns will be okay with how this is going so far.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's not a Baron buff and a dead Nexus, I feel like the Unicorns will always feel like they have a shot of winning this game, because they have point-and-click hard engage coming out of the Vi and then of Vladimir, and we already saw Nomanz in that last game. It was just so hard to kill him. He was getting so much health back after that 2-item mark. He farms very well on the champion. Once again, he's getting bullied. It looks like he's going low, but there is no Ignite. There's very predictable damage from Damonte. He should be able to weather the storm of this lane, unless Lira can get involved, and could end up in a similar position as the game we just saw against Mammoth.
Nomanz is going to have to teleport into the mid lane to catch this wave. Damonte showing that the Syndra does win that matchup early on, as we expected, as we saw in the last game. And so that is a teleport burn. Huni's just going to dodge around here with the Blade Surge. Very easy for him to get away. And I think if there are minions available, he should be very good at dodging that Death's Grasp, which is one of the key components of Mordekaiser getting his full burst off.
And I'm very interested to track Huni's item build here, because I think Wit's End is one of the most underutilized items in the game. Very nice backwards pull there from Boss to create distance. Good mastery over the champion. And he's obviously going up against either Vladimir or Boss's Mordekaiser in the side lane. So early magic resist can be great. Attack speed on Irelia is really good. And just a very nice 2-item spike there with the Trinity Force.
So we wondered where Unicorns would play around early on. At the moment, it seems like AHaHaCiK is spending his time towards the top lane just to try and relieve some of the pressure that Huni is putting down onto Boss.
I think this is...
Here we go. Oh, he's got ult. Boss flashes in with the ultimate. Huni low mana, and AHaHaCiK going to look for the Vault Breaker here. Huni going to get pulled out. Death's Grasp knocks him back. Huni still has the flash. He will use it, and it gets away from the Vault Breaker. Here comes the damage. Straight back on, and Huni outplays the 2v1.
The 2v1 outplay there from Huni. Lira now looking to try and charge forward in this lane. They want to be able to get it to hit the turret. Really well played there from the top lane of Clutch. Because there's only 3 ranged minions alive, that will now push back to Huni. Will start denying farm away from Boss. He's going to have to use the teleport to get back up there. That's why I don't really like going to Irelia lanes, because she just has so much mobility and so much outplay potential. You can see that they were trying to line up the Vault Breaker. Great flash there. Boss can't really get out. Would have fallen down to Lira any way you feel. And that's a very good first game.
The thing about that is that has to be great communication by the team as well, because Huni cannot see AHaHaCiK charging up that Vault Breaker. That has to be someone saying, hey, the Vi's going to hit you as soon as you come out, you need to flash, or him just anticipating that being the case.
Yeah, really good awareness, as you mentioned there from Huni. You can see AHaHaCiK back on that top side. Hasn't cleared out the control ward, so he's on perfect vision right now for Clutch. They know exactly where he is, and resetting the bottom side of the map means that Cody Sun going to go back and get a BF sword for himself. I feel like this game going very well for Clutch early.
Yeah, really good. They've got a 1,500 gold lead at the 7-minute mark. You have an AD carry, 6 farm ahead. Mid lane's about 10 ahead. Top lane is about 12 ahead. So you're in a very strong spot so far.
Yeah, however, level 6 is now through for AHaHaCiK. So this is where the play should start, right? This is the stage of the game where we saw the Vladimir be a little bit more safe in lane, be able to get the shove and be able to start impacting side lanes with his jungler. I feel like it's going to be hard for Damonte to push up in that laning phase, just due to the fact that he can't really get away from the Vi ultimate, so we'll have to play a little bit more respectfully if Lira continues to come into this top side.
Vulcan actually passed path all the way to top side here, maybe anticipating a repeat gank from AHaHaCiK, knowing that Huni's flash was down. Huni dodges out from the Death's Grasp there, and Boss isn't able to put too much damage back down. But there will be a short period of time here where Cody Sun is alone in the bottom lane. We'll see if Unicorns of Love can do anything with that. They can't. They don't really know what's happening. So AHaHaCiK going to start up an early dragon. We saw them do this in game 1. Oh no, it was Babbitt who did it in game 1, sorry. He's going to do it here as Vulcan comes in, gets a ward down. The control ward is there, but Lira is just around the corner, and AHaHaCiK decides better of his choices. Instead, he goes back in. Vulcan maybe caught out here with the dredge line. They don't know Lira's waiting around the corner. Vault Breaker charged up, but the tankiness is not there for the Nautilus. He falls. Cody Sun's going to open up. The Vault Breaker, the Assault and Battery got cancelled by the Rappel. 2 quick kills to Clutch in the bottom lane.
And this is really good map awareness from Clutch. You could see that Vulcan went for that top lane play, but then they were pinging out the dragon. They moved in. They had priority over the wave, and they're able to rebuff AHaHaCiK's attempt at being able to impose his will on this bottom lane. Now the first Vi ultimate has failed. The gold lead is out to about 3,000, and Fire Dragon should go to Clutch.
Yeah, Lira tanking this one up for a long time. Does still have the smite, so can heal up, and Innaxe was trying to get some damage down onto the Elise, but couldn't quite manage it. There's the Infernal Dragon. Nomanz trying to catch out Damonte, but he just knocks him back with a force of will. Scatter the weak, sorry. And it's pretty easy so far for Clutch. 9.5 minutes in, they're in a commanding lead.
And this is just good awareness from Vulcan and the entirety of the Clutch Gaming lineup. You can see right now that they want to be able to posture and fight for this. Looks like a good catch, however. The proc of the Aftershock makes it so tanky, and Cody's point-blank arrow just is enough for Edward to fall down. We kind of said that Nautilus as far as tanks go, is one of the squishier ones.
Yep.
And that's a good cancel of the Vi ultimate.
Yeah, Repel obviously taking you untargetable, which means the AHaHaCiK wasn't able to connect with the Assault and Battery. And now, once again, we see Vulcan just roaming away from that bottom lane a tad, keeping Damonte safe as Edward was roaming his way through the river. Is Damonte going to push too far for this? I don't think so. He's a very safe mid laner, usually. He isn't really the key carry on his team, but when he gets a later game, he can do a lot. And AHaHaCiK here still waiting in the bushes as Huni's forced into the realm of death. Teleport coming out. Here comes a AHaHaCiK looking for Huni. Lands the knock of the Vanguard's Edge coming out. Huni's still alive. And once again, Huni survives. Damonte takes the double kill, and Clutch look unkillable.
And such a telegraphed play. That's the second time they've gone for that, but no Vi ultimate means it's so hard to lock down Huni with that Hex Drinker, able to survive. And that is going to be the infamous 10-minute Herald started up.
Yeah, let's start it up. Nomanz now in no man's land. Damonte coming in from the side. Edward there as well. The arrow doesn't connect. Nomanz able to flash away from it, but here comes the hook, and that one will find its mark. Cody Sun takes his second kill of the game. Clutch look devastating in this matchup.
Yeah, they just look like they're so much more switched on this time around. They're using minimal resources. That's just Lira soloing out the Herald, so they think that they can get a turret plate mid lane. That is not going to be the case. Nomanz a little bit greedy, and I think this play, the first time you see it, you're a little bit surprised. If Boss walks at me and just ults me out of nowhere, I know exactly what's coming. They call in for the teleport, making sure off vision before he goes for it. Just the little things in the game being crossed off. And Huni would have died if there's an ultimate there from Vi, but there wasn't. And that means that the gold lead just continues to extend.
5,000 gold ahead, 11 minutes in. This is a demolition, to say the least, from Clutch. They have an Infernal Dragon. They're chipping away at these turret plates as well. 2 have already fallen in the bottom lane. 3 in the top. Can't quite see mid as Vladimir is hovering over it right now, but I think they've got at least 1 tower plate there. With the Rift Herald sitting on Lira, they can now look to see where they use it. They've taken 2 in mid as well, so they could even look for the fabled 15 plates here if they play their cards right.
And look at the difference in the map state. You know, last game we kept talking about how Unicorns had the push, that they were able to move around the map as much as they wanted. Now Herald being dropped.
There's a lot of pings on that control ward by the red buff of Clutch.
None of the teleports are up yet, unfortunately.
Oh, it's true.
It's just going to mean that the charge comes across and the turret goes down, and Cody going to continue to get more gold in this game. Despite going with lethal tempo, looks like he's going towards an Essence Reaver as well, so we'll have some cooldown reduction in the build.
Of course, you get the Q auto attack reset now as well, makes it even easier to stack up that Ranger's focus. And Huni is showing us why he is such a consistently great top laner, why he is the key carry for this team. He is so strong, so good at outplaying 1v2s. You said we haven't seen too much Irelia, and I've heard a few people say perhaps it's because people aren't as confident on her. She requires a lot of mechanical prowess. Well, Huni is the sort of player to bring that out on the world stage.
Yeah, it certainly is, and also going towards a Death Dance build. Knows that he is the focal point of this team. As that should be a cancelled recall.
It should be a dead Edward, I believe. Flash away, but the Vanguard's Edge still hits, and he doesn't hit the dredge line. Edward dies once again, 0-2-0 on this Nautilus. Living under the river more than on top of it at the moment.
It's just a game of millimeters sometimes, and that hook just short. Maybe wouldn't have been enough to keep Edward alive, but would have greatly increased his chances. And this map state is like 6,000 gold, 13 minutes into the game. And it's just shared everywhere. It's not like it's one person that's out of control. You just ignore them and try and attack the other side of the map.
Every lane is ahead.
As you can see from the gold, every lane is ahead.
So dominant here by Clutch. Lost to Unicorns twice during the regular group stages, but no one beats Clutch Gaming 3 times in a row, it seems. Cody Sun now in the mid lane, looking to push in towards this turret. Turret plates have now fallen, but it's a lot of damage already on that mid lane tower. Should be taken pretty soon here by Clutch and the Unicorns of Love. Yet to get a kill, yet to get an objective, yet to get a turret. Perfect games on the cards.
It certainly is, and it's going to be a Mountain Dragon spawning and complete bottom side river control. Teleport is available on Huni as well, so he can join anything. And 10-0 there.
Yeah. They missed 1 plate, though. Like, they didn't get the gold from 1 plate. That's disappointing, Clutch.
You really are a hard taskmaster, aren't you?
Hey, you were the one who was flaming people for missing Syndra queues earlier on, so...
Seems like a lifetime ago.
It does. It does seem like a long time ago, Spawn. It has been a joy casting with you for these 5 games we have had at the moment. Clutch Very much the team with a smile on their faces. The group up mid, the arrow doesn't connect. Huni was coming in from the side to see if he could find a connection, and now the Unicorns might turn on him. The dredge line does hit. There's the depth charge as well. Huni locked up in spot, and the Unicorns will not go down in a perfect game. They take their first kill of the match.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it wasn't actually the Death Stance picked up. He's gone for a Ravenous Hydra. That's why he was so squishy when he was caught out, and the magic damage wasn't the thing hitting him. It was the AD carry. Now AHaHaCiK looking.
Straight into the cocoon. The hook doesn't hit, but AHaHaCiK's already down. Where's the repel going? Lira on the front line. Nomanz trying to get the damage down, but he doesn't have the items yet to complete one. Damonte coming in from the side here. Edward going back in. TP in from the Unicorns, but Damonte just sweeps him off the face of the map. And now Nomanz is trying to put the damage down onto Vulcan. Damonte off to the side. One spear, that's enough. It's a double for Damonte. Death's Grasp will pull him back. TP coming in from Clutch though. Huni's going to join the fight. Vulcan slammed down, obliterated by Boss, but Boss is not in the best of shapes now. He will fall as well. Clutch get their 11th kill of the game, and with it they'll take a Mountain Drake.
And 7,000 gold now the lead, complete control. I think the expressions of the coaches really did tell a great story there. Kind of looks like Unicorns' time is running out in this game. Just losing control of the map. They look desperate in some of the plays they're now reaching for. It was a good initial collapse onto Huni, but that was really something there from AHaHaCiK.
Really something. Is that code for not the best of plays?
Well, I mean, he's going into a blind area of the map. Not the tankiest Vi. Has Aftershock, but not going to be able to proc it because doesn't hit a champion with CC. And now it just means that they're back to a 4v4.
And it's so easy for Clutch then to clean it up. Damonte coming in, he's landing all his skills, which is great, but you're so far ahead, you're just beating Unicorns with your wallets.
Yeah, you certainly are. And Boss is able to return a kill here. We'll be able to take Vulcan into that death realm. However, you can see Teleport coming back in, just too many resources from the Clutch Gaming lineup right now. And this is what a 7,000 gold lead at this stage of the game looks like, Medic.
Yep. Clutch now looking for another catch here. Damonte on the top lane tower, almost taking that down. Vulcan flashes in, lands the hook, and goodbye AHaHaCiK. There goes Vi. Once again, back to the fountain.
And the thing I love about this Clutch lineup is that they're young, they've got the swagger, they haven't been beaten down by the previous failings of the North American LCS just yet. And so they're looking for these players, right? They're looking to get over the wall, and they're looking to continue to this run. This is a team when they're playing at their best, they are playing very loose, they are playing very confident. So it's good to see, you know, Vulcan, one of the young members of this team, going for that play.
It's definitely working out for Clutch so far in this game. They haven't had the easiest of affairs so far in the group stage of Plains. A bit of a turbulent one for them, but they are showing us how well they can play right here. This is what people expected from the Clutch we saw at regional qualifiers, the Clutch that reverse swept TSM in the finals. When they find their form, they look unstoppable.
And all's well that ends okay. So whilst Clutch did drop those two games, if they come out in first seed, they're able to dodge out of Splice, they're able to dodge out of down one, this is still a positive result. Is it the way they would have liked to go through
Definitely not.
Definitely not. They would have liked to swept, made sure that they didn't need to go to a tiebreaker game, but it's good to see that they can step up in the moments that matter.
Definitely is. You can see Damonte being pretty cautious here. Nomanz has the proto belt, a lot of damage under the Vladimir's belt, and here we go with the flank. And AHaHaCiK coming in as well, but Vulcan's on his way and has the lantern. Damonte's just going to take that to safety if Vulcan even wants to put it down. And Damonte's like, it's a blue buff, guys. It's fine, I'm safe.
It's like when you walk up to someone for a high five, and they just really ignore you the whole time.
It's really annoying, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I was here to help.
Oh, great QSS there by Innaxe. But look at how early he's had to go towards that. Hasn't even got his Ginsus yet, just sitting on the Manamune. And having to get the QSS this early on in the game. Yes, you're into an AShe and an Elise and an Irelia, so it makes sense, but it's still very, very taxing on your total gold numbers. Vulcan once again with the hook. Go in, take it. Arrow doesn't quite connect.
If he had taken that inflate, the arrow would have connected. I don't know whether he would have lived.
He wouldn't have lived. He hasn't got flash. Yeah, he would have died.
But it certainly would have made the arrow connect.
And that's the important thing as a support. You've got to make sure your AD carry looks as good as possible. Here we go. Take it this time, Vulcan. Didn't do it.
No, they're just instead using it to control the map, corral the map. One of the things that is a little bit of a pain in the League of Legends, when you're this far ahead, there's no Baron to take. There's no reason for them to go back into their jungle. You've taken 2 dragons already. There's a minute and a half before the next one spawns. So it's very hard to make UOL fight you over anything.
And AHaHaCiK disagrees with you because there's Krugs to take.
Krugs,
so, yeah.
My bad.
Went in, flashed away. Damonte trying to steal away the Krugs from across the wall, but you can see how much control Clutch have of this jungle. There's basically no vision there for the Unicorns of Love. Nomanz maybe overstepped here, but there's no arrow, so he should be able to get out pretty safely. But Clutch Gaming now looking for this tier 2 in the top lane. 8,000 gold ahead as we get up towards that 20-minute mark. Nomanz maybe looking for the play here, maybe wanted to go in. It's last chance saloon, you have to think, for the Unicorns. Clutch Gaming have total control of the map.
And you can see that even when it looks like they've caught someone out, Huni was very far up mid lane. He just walks into that top side jungle. And because you have no vision apart from that one ward, if you don't see people, you can't chase him. Yeah. That's just going to be running into the 5-man stack. So you're right. At this stage of the game, you have to catch the waves at your tier 2. You have to play very reserved, very safely. And you just know that, you know, the Baron is coming up. The second Mountain Dragon is coming available. Yeah. So one more Dragon pickup, that's going to be a very quick Baron, and Unicorn will have to start taking some risks.
I really think Clutch is just waiting for Huni to get his Trinity Force. He's about 200, 300 gold away from it, and then he'll be incredibly powerful in a side lane, even in a team fight as well, who do a huge amount of damage. You've got 2 items on your Ashe, almost 2 items complete on Damonte as well. You can see Clutch have just slowly suffocated Unicorns of Love out of this game. From a lead at 5 minutes, now extending to about 8,000 gold at the 21-minute mark. They are just dominating Unicorns.
Yeah, very commanding lead so far, and really good signs, you know, apart from that one play where Huni got caught out, kind of roaming through the jungle against the waves, just being able to play a slow reserve pace and look for their windows very well. Unicorns have used this time pretty wisely to regain control of their topside jungle. They know that it's going to be the next mountain, but now they need to get a recall in, restock up those vision wards, if there's any hope that they're going to be able to push in and contest. Because if Cody just lands an arrow on anyone not called Innaxe, they will die.
Yeah, they're all dead. All dead if that happens. They have got a stopwatch and an AHaHaCiK, but he's incredibly squishy with the Warrior Enchant on that Stalker's Blade. Now Clutch double mountain pushing forward for this mid-tier 2. The resets had come out from the Unicorn, so they have no way of defending this. That tower's going to fall forthwith. And Nomanz just in the side lane, trying to farm himself up as much as possible on this Vladimir. Struggling to do so, but maybe here's the last ray of hope for the Unicorns lineup.
See whether that is going to be the case. And you see
I don't think it is, I'll be honest.
Okay. No worries, just clarifying. We do see the cheeky ward on top of the Baron pit. Very rare to see that ward swept out, so they should have at least some information. No, Lira does his homework.
Good sweeper, Lira.
Very nicely done.
Usually, I think that ward is just slightly wider, I'll be honest. I think it's about just where Damonte's about to walk past here, at the sort of the crux of the side, which means you can start to see people get into the Baron pit, but you don't usually get swept out because people sweep in a straight line.
Sure, I can see it. So maybe a little bit wide. However, you can see now with this perfect control, they now go back, reset, pick up a control ward on Lira, a control ward on Vulcan. That means that the next push can be into the back of that red buff pit, can be towards the Raptor camp as well. And you just create a line of scrimmage. And you just say, at this stage, if you come past it, we're going to fight you. Once again, Unicorn's looking for one of those hole punch players.
Edward going in, lands the hook, there's the dredge line. Gonna get some damage down with the Hemo play ticking across. Zonya's used by Damonte, knock back. Unstoppable force isn't enough. Lira misses the cocoon. Damonte eventually falls. The Unicorns of Love, though, all low. Hook from Vulcan onto Boss, goes into the realm of death. Innaxe jumped on the backline by Huni, who gets 1. He's looking for more. That's 2 for him. This could be an easy triple for Huni. Found the backline, found the pick. Boss is going to fall as well. Cody will take him out. And the whole punch play punched Clutch Gaming's position on this Baron.
Yeah, it certainly did, and that's just the power of stopwatch right now. It means that Damonte lives for a little bit longer, Medic. And that will be Baron, that will be a 10,000 gold lead, and that should be Clutch Gaming picking up first seed.
Huni's still having the Baron. He can split push for days now. Cody Sun holds the mid lane as well. Maybe keep Damonte with the team. He does have the teleport, but without a Baron, it's going to be a bit hard. And here, you can see what Unicorns want to do. They want to make a catch and kill Damonte straight away.
Well, this is good because they got into that part of the map without actually being on vision. However, Damonte just buys so much time, does a lot of damage at this stage of the game. And it looked like it was okay until Huni arrived and then just starts shredding people on the backside. That's a genuine near 1v3 for Huni. Edward, he's a good guy, goes out in solidarity for the rest of his team. And Boss, once again, is kind of one of the rays of sunshine for this lineup, is able to grab himself another kill, but it is really battling uphill. At 11,000 gold at 24 minutes. That is a monumental lead.
Yeah, double mountain as well, just to take these towers even quicker. Damonte's going to be up towards the top lane, looking for that tier 2. The rest of Clutch, I think, will go and join him. They have a little bit of a minion wave here. Clutch just continue to control this red side jungle of the Unicorns of Love. Huni acting as a front line, acting as that bouncer, not letting Unicorns of Love into the party that is going on in their jungle right now. And it will be a tower going down to Clutch. Once again, their 5th of the game is about to fall. I was trying to predict it off the minimap. It was close. It's about to fall. There we go. Just in time.
They look like they were actually holding up the creep wave potentially. However, now engage mid lane.
And AHaHaCiK jumps in. Innaxe going back onto the back line as well. Huni jumping around as much as he can. He's already killed Innaxe. Huni will fall, but the rest of Clutch are not done with this. The arrow connects from long range. Vulcan coming in with the play. Can't quite land it in time. Edward manages to get away, but the cocoon finds its mark. Edward and the rest of Unicorns trying to get away. Nomanz has a flank position here, but can't get the damage down. That's another kill. Hook won't land as the Sanguine Pool is popped by Nomanz.
And Clutch really care about Huni because they could have just stayed top lane and taken a base turret. They could have taken an inhibitor. Instead, they say, how dare you do that to our top laner? They chase them out. They do pick up the 2 kills. However, I think the siege will stop there.
Yeah, I don't think they can really do too much more. Vulcan's walking in another lane, another wave, but Cody Sun's back. Everyone's reset. A Baron only has a minute and a half left, so Unicorns have held on to something. I'm not sure what, but they've held on to something.
I mean, they've held up onto their base, and as long as you have a Nexus, you have hope, Medic.
Yeah, the fans still have it.
These fans pop off. This is great.
They really do. The Unicorns fans are greatly missed in the LEC. Some of the best fans in the business. Now Clutch, next dragon is an Ocean. Just add to their litany so far with the Double Mountains and the Infernal. Now they've decided top lane is not the place to be. We want to gain control of the bottom side jungle, and that's exactly what they've done. A couple of control wards, sweep out all the vision that Unicorns might have, steal away the blue, steal away the grump, take everything you can from them while you have the chance. And now they'll go down towards this final outer tower, turret remaining outside of the base of the Unicorns and should be able to take this one pretty darn easily.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the contest. This is not the turret you want to lose all hope over. You can see now 12,000 gold lead. I don't think they're going to go towards that Ocean Dragon just yet.
Arrow doesn't connect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So able to dodge out on one skill shot. There is still many flying through, however.
There's so many going through. You have to be careful of the orbs coming out from the Syndra. Death's Grasp will hit onto Huni, but that's not really the target you want. Another hook doesn't hit, but look at the damage on Edward and Nomanz. Nomanz is at 2.5 completed items, almost at the Rabadons now, but unless he can get a perfect Hemoplague on the backline, unless he can take out Cody Sun and Huni in a single fight, it's going to be very difficult for them to clean up a fight.
But you do raise a really good point, because Vladimir is quite strong.
Yeah.
At nearly 3.5 items. If it is a perfect fight, you know, there is no stopwatch available onto Damonte. He will fall down.
Yeah.
Huni has some magic resistance, but gut check says it's probably not enough.
Yeah.
I've seen stranger things.
I think with Huni, the issue's going to be, can you lock him down so he doesn't heal enough? Because he's got Hex Drinker and he's got the Ravenous Hydra. So I agree with Damonte. Definitely you think you can take him down. And then Cody Sun, if you can get rid of that stopwatch, you can kill him as well. But
yeah, I think like Cody will stopwatch and then die as he comes out of stopwatch, if it is the ideal fight. But you're right, Huni, Lira, they're kind of the troublemakers.
Yeah. I didn't mean to disagree with you, Spawn. I was just adding variables into the mix.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm a big variable sort of guy. I like to play devil's advocate and then have to remind myself that you have to tell people that you don't dislike their idea.
Yeah, the idea I dislike right now is pushing bottom lane turret and just allowing Clutch Gaming to walk through the front door.
Huni's actually going to land the stun here onto Edward. He can just chase this one down. Edward, not tanky at all. Huni continues in, and that's another kill for Clutch. As you say, 2 members in the bot lane for the Unicorns of Love just made it so easy for Clutch to break down the door. A battering ram in the form of Huni, and now Clutch will look up towards top.
And Nomanz just didn't even continue. Oh,
Boss gets arrowed, but he goes into the Death Realm in time. Now he's trying to put some damage down onto Vulcan. The rest of his team's not here. He does realize he can back away from this one. Tries to kill Vulcan, but Huni just takes him out. And another kill going down, and AHaHaCiK unable to join the fight. Nomanz and Innaxe, the last 2 members of the Unicorns left standing, and Clutch Gaming are having none of that. Equilibrium Strike does not quite connect, so a flawless duet there from Irelia. And Huni and the rest of Clutch are looking to break this base. 15,000 gold their lead. They have been dominant, unstoppable, but Nomanz tries to get on the backline. There's the perfect fight we were looking for. Cody Sun still alive, Huni's still alive, but Cody Sun chased off towards the back of the fight. Look at Cody still manages to survive for a long time. Nomanz in the end will take the triple. Lira and Huni 2v1, and AHaHaCiK up in 4, Boss up in 7. Huni might just try and take this fight. The Sanguine Pool comes out, Huni slowed up, and AHaHaCiK on on his way, doesn't have the ult, does have flash Q if he wants it, but you don't want to go on Huni in a 1v1. Teleport behind them now. Boss trying to join the fight, doesn't have his ult, but can put the damage down. Another teleport coming in from Nomanz. They're on Lira. The Death's Grasp pulls him back through Repel, up into the air, but what goes up must come down. But Lira manages to get out of the back of the fight, and now it's Huni in a 3v1. Shut down! The Unicorns have held on to their last ray of hope.
And the Baron is up and available. However, death time is still very short. I don't know whether they can get it in time, but they are certainly going to try.
The Unicorns will not go down. They continue to kick. They continue to fight. They continue to stymie Clutch at the last opportunity. Innaxe holding up the waves here. Unicorn's going to try and three-man this Baron, but look who's on the way. It's Vulcan. It's Damonte. It's the arrow from downtown. Cody Sun hits it. The hook's going to connect onto Edward as well. Innaxe teleporting in. Lira down to half HP, but the Baron's low as well. They killed Damonte. Time back to the Baron. Innaxe going to tank it up. Here's Cody Sun, TP available from Huni in 9 seconds time. This is a fight for seeding. And AHaHaCiK, no smite, he's dead, doesn't matter. Edward trying to get to the front line, Lira goes in, Nomanz gets the Baron, but no man will be left standing here for the Unicorns. Innaxe manages to get out of the back of it, Huni's in the base, it doesn't matter Spawn, try what you like, Huni will hollow all the way over your base. The Nexus will fall, and Clutch Gaming will take #1 seed.
A very impressive performance from Clutch there. Decisive victory, but you cannot say that the Unicorns did not go down without a fight.
I won't. They fought to the very last. Some of those last fights, if Huni hadn't TP'd in, maybe they would have fought back. Of course, credit to Clutch, they were in control of the game the entire time. It would have been a miraculous comeback from the Unicorns. Clutch did everything they needed to do, showed us the form they showed in regional qualifiers. But the Unicorns showed us that whichever #1 seed is facing them will not have an easy time.
Yeah, ban Vladimir if you're playing the Unicorns of Love, because Nomanz is a monster on that champion. Even in that game, you're down like 13,000 gold, and he's like wiping through team fights. That was insane to witness.
It really was. It really was. Sheepy, a little bit distraught, obviously, would have wanted to take that win, knows that there are tough matches on the horizon for him now. Clutch Gaming very happy taking that #1 seed.
And you think as long as they dodge down one, there's a potential chance for Unicorns to be able to create that upset. It's going to be an uphill battle. Obviously, you want that first seed. But if you take it to Clutch in this fashion, if you beat them twice, there's no reason that you can't do that to another team in a similar situation. Clutch, on the other hand, they do grab the marbles that you've been talking about all day, Medic. They are able to ensure they get the first seed.
They've got all of the marbles, even the shiny blue one.
That's good. So they're able to grab that first seed, and they will be in a position to hopefully be able to proceed.
They really will.
To Worlds groups.
That's the hope. That's the hope for Clutch. Would it be, if they get knocked out, it would be the first time we've seen a non-LMS team be knocked out in the play-in stage out of the major regions. North America, Europe, everyone has always progressed. Of course, this is the first time we've seen LCK there, but it looks very much like Damwon are going to make it into groups as well.
Yeah, that's a hope. I mean, for Damwon fans, this is a team that in reality, only 2 or 3 of their members have to show up. That's how good the individuals are on Damwon. Reading an interview, it was like, we played at 10%, and I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of scary. So I really do think that, you put Damwon up there. Splice has had good and bad performances. Clutch has now had good or bad performances. So there are some teams that look like on your day you can take the battle to, but at the end of the day, they're seed 1 teams for a reason. And when push came to shove, they were able to rise to the occasion and pick up the wins they needed to proceed in that first place.
They really were. I've heard a lot of talk about whether seed 1 should always be the favorite. I think this is the planes where they've been most likely to take #1 spot in their groups. I think only Group C has been a little bit up in the air. That's it from us for now, but we're going to have some Tanner time as Damonte is standing by with Law.
Thank you very much, guys, and thank you, Damonte, for joining me. Congrats, finally, on taking first seed. I guess the audience can give them a bit of applause as well. The road wasn't easy for you guys, and you had to play against UOL again, a 3rd time. This one felt easier, though, so can you explain why?
Well, the first 2 games, I think they kind of got the best of us with the Heimerdinger, and it was pretty hard for us to play versus that because no one in NA really plays anything like that. Everyone in NA kind of just handshakes the ADC versus ADC bot lane, whereas like now that we're at Worlds and play-ins, all these teams are playing way more champions, so kind of weren't expecting it, and also I think we kind of like just weren't playing our best. So I think it was just a fluke.
Can you tell me about the UOL draft here? Because the Mordekaiser Vi blind pick, that may seem odd. What did you think about it?
Well, they had a lot of like high damage, like single target pick champions. I think we caught them off guard as well when we banned Nocturne, because the game before they showed that they're willing to play against Syndra if they get Nocturne, but this time they didn't have it. So they were just going for some maybe more niche picks, but we were able to play our game.
All right, well, thank you for these insights. Now, looking at some stats from Clutch Gaming, I noticed that you had to play more games than any LCS team with 45 total because you run through the gauntlet. So here you didn't have the easiest road as well. How do you feel when it comes to handling tiredness? Because you may be jet lagged from flying in Europe. The rest, the worst is to come in the competition. So how do you handle all of this?
I mean, we're pretty used to it by now. I mean, it's just a lot of matches, right? I don't think it's a bad thing. If anything, it's a good thing. We're pretty happy to be in plans to get like a warm-up before we go to group stages. I mean, assuming that we win our best 5. But yeah, I think all the games have been good for us, and it shows that we just have more practice than all the other teams.
Okay, so what did you learn from this warm-up for the last few days, from the teams in your group?
I mean, we learned that Heimerdinger is pretty OP.
Last question here. As you said, you're going to play a best of 5. Which team would you like to face, and which team would you like to avoid?
You kind of got me on the spot because I don't know all the names of all the teams that are going to be second seeds, but I'm not trying to be mean. But
You were busy playing. That's understandable.
yeah, I was just focused on my group, you know. But I would like to play. I think Isurus has Seiya, and he's been playing in NA solo queue for as long as I can remember, and I've always thought he was a really good mid laner. So it'd be pretty cool to match up against him.
What about the 3rd Korean seed?
The Damon? Well, I'm assuming they're going to get first seeds, so I don't think we'll have the chance to play against them.
Well, I hope you will be lucky enough not to face them. Thank you very much for the interview, and congrats on taking first seed once again. Now back to you guys for cooldown.